Good morning, everyone. This is Leonard Lloyd, and it is January the 12th, 2016. And it's good to see you all. As usual, I'm not a doctor, psychiatrist, psychologist, therapist. I'm just a diva trying to make it through the day, minute by minute, second by second, with mental illness. Bipolar 2, anxiety, depression, borderline personality disorder. As I've said before, I just tell people that I'm crazy. That's the best I could do. Uh, this is just a continuing story of my journey. I don't expect people to go out and agree with what I say or do what I do because what works for you may not work for me. What works for me may not work for you. So there's a continuing journey on that long road that has a lot of hills and valleys, and every once in a while a roadblock that I try to prepare myself for, but you really can't because you never know how you're going to be feeling. Uh, I had seen some things posted, people commenting on medication. See, I am on 150 milligrams of venlafaxine, uh, 50 milligrams of lamotrigine ER, 200 milligrams of lamotrigine, and bupropion 300 milligrams, and that doesn't include the high blood pressure, cholesterol, and other three medications that I take. All for all, they work. I guess they work as good as they're going to work. I've been on it for over 2 years, and it took a while, to that trial and error. I was on lithium for a while, but they had to take me off of it after 4 or 5 months because it was addictive. Um, when you're taking this medication, and this is for people, who don't have mental illness, when you're on this medication, you have to decide, what side effects you can and cannot take. Now, in my case, I have extreme constipation. We're talking about every maybe 3 4 days. So I take a laxative. Um, there's sexual problems. If I stop taking my medicine for 2 days, I'll be able to act like I'm 16. But if I'm off of it for more than 2 days, there are side effects when you go off of it. I'm dizzier. My coordination is worse than it is, and I just get kind of hyper. Yesterday was a bad day because I had taken laxative. Then about 4 hours before I got it, then I had a bowl of cereal, and then I took my meds, and then I must not have eaten heavy, or there was a war going on between the laxatives and the medication because I totally felt like crap. No pun intended. And I had to go to bed for 3 or 4 hours until everything cleared up because I was feeling, really, really lousy. Um, and I know there may be some of you out there, and I feel the same way at times where, you wish, maybe just for a couple of days you could come off your medication. That's not a good thing for me. Um, because the last time I was off more than 2 days, I had to go in the hospital, and that was not my choice. Um, whether I take it or if I decide I'm not going to take it, there are consequences. And what worries me with those consequences, lately you've been hearing on the news people that aren't feeling well have been going out and doing things. And they said these are people that have dealing with mental illness. So is it because they're on medication and they don't want to take it? Is it that they've not been evaluated and don't know what's wrong or side effects due to the medication? I think about that because I don't want people to think that that could be me one day. Um, because if someone had on one of the posts that, you know, feeling ashamed. Uh, when I did the first video, this is my 13th. Like I said in the first video, I'm not ashamed. I was at first, But I'm like, I can't be ashamed of what I have or what I am. I mean, because if that's the case, I'd have a trifecta. A friend of mine, because a friend of mine told me, he said, you got three things going against you. You're black, gay, and crazy. Okay, but it's a hell of a thing to put on a resume. Can't help being black, can't help being gay, and evidently, since I'm on all this medication, I can't help having a mental illness. So what are you gonna do? I keep living. I mean, whether you have a mental illness or not, it's going to be something about you that people don't like, or they're going to talk about you. And I swear to God, if you go to these people's houses and open up their closet doors, you'll see a lot of their skeletons falling out of it. Okay? So I really, really just try not to pay any attention to it because nobody is perfect. We all have imperfections. We all have something that's wrong. And it just depends on how you deal with it. And I'm not going to say it doesn't get to me from time to time, but it does. But I fight like hell not to let it because I know I have a lot to offer. There's a lot going for me, and I know I'm trying to do the best that I can. So this is why I do the videos to break down that wall, to break down that stigma, so that a conversation can be started, especially with those people who don't know what it's like to live with a mental illness. I had my best friend go to therapy, talk to my therapist to get a better idea of, what I'm going through, and he does now. And as I said before, people are either going to understand or they're not going to understand. And then, I had to make the decision, do I want these people to continue to be in my life? Some I've cut loose, some I've stayed away from. Because right now I feel that there's nobody more important than me right now. My health and my happiness is the most important thing to me. And if I have to go through my life, alone, to have peace of mind and to be as well as I can be, I'm willing to do that. Because I'm not going to wind up, being on extra medication or going into the hospital. Because, if I go through all of that and these people are still out here acting stupid, so why am I going to give them that power? Why am I going to give them, that opportunity? And I have some compulsions. I had read where someone was having a thing with the house, cleaning up the house and everything. And, I'm the same way. I cannot go if there's just one thing out of whack before I go to bed, I got to take care of it because I will not be able to sleep. I'm compulsive that way. If you invite me to your home, I can't stand to be late. I drove a bus for 26 years. Every minute of the day I had to be somewhere. It just aggravates me to be late. It aggravates me when somebody's late. I've, tried to deal with it. I purposely tried to show up places late. Still get there on time. Some things you can't break. Compulsive shopper, I'm dealing with that. And the last few months, I've been dealing with sexual anxiety because of this hyperactivity and stuff going through me. I'm trying to get a handle on that. So it's just, when you get a hold of one thing, then something comes up, and then something else. So I just, in a way, I look at it as a menu. Okay, this is what you're being served today. This is what you might be served tomorrow, and all I can do is just try to deal with it when it happens. I don't sit around anymore waiting to see what will happen. I just know somewhere along the line I'm going to be feeling one way or I may act one way. So I just try to deal with it when it happens, and I try to deal with it in a positive way. So some of you that may be, having the same thoughts and feelings that I have, and I try to be upfront and realize you're not the only one. There are a lot of us with those feelings and those actions, but sometimes it's hard to say out loud. And I never thought that I could do these videos and say these things out loud. But it's a catharsis for me. It helps. It really does help me in between the times that I go to see my therapist because I'm able to talk about things and take some more of that stress off of myself. So don't feel that you're alone because you're not. we all go through this at one time or another. It's just all in how you handle it. And I just try to be strong. I try to be positive, and that's all we can do. And hope that we have somebody in our corner. If there's some of you out there that have never seeked help and think there's something wrong, please go seek help. Don't go through this by yourself, because if you go and get some help, you may find out that this isn't what's wrong with you. So please go find out. That is the hardest thing to do, is admit that there's something wrong and that you need help. And once you do that, everything else is so much better. So please get some help. And for those of you that have a friend or loved one dealing with mental illness, it's hard for everyone. Try to understand. Go online. Learn what these mental illnesses are and how to deal with them. Go to group therapy with that person. But try to understand and just try to be, it's nice to have somebody there for us when we need them, because it's the little things that really, really help out. So again, I thank you all for your comments and your contributions. Since I started this in December, I'm practically up to 6,000 views. So I appreciate people watching. I hope that the conversation is still going. And please continue the conversation, because sometimes seeing somebody talk about it, out loud to me is a lot better than reading something, because you put a face on it and you get a better understanding. So please feel free to share the videos. That's why I'm doing them, and really continue with the conversation. So until I see you next time, take care, be strong, and do the best you can. I'll see you soon.